Can you talk about how that might impact research and development, especially in hypersonics, if there's a year-long continuing resolution?
Yeah, the Secretary does believe that it will have an impact on our research and development programs. I think we submitted with this budget the largest ever request for R&D, for science and technology R&D. And not being able to start those initiatives will definitely have an impact, not just on hypersonics. And I understand the interest in hypersonics, but it goes beyond that. You've heard the Secretary talk about integrated deterrence and making sure we have, and he talked about this on Saturday, making sure we have the technology in place to better defend this nation against threats such as the kinds of threats that could emanate from places like Russia and China. And when you can't start new programs, when you can't begin to, you don't have that money to spend on that sort of investment, it absolutely will affect your ability, your capabilities going forward.
One of the fastest growing areas of the U.S. economy is in the area of space, and the ability for that to continue to grow is based on a viable defense of space, and that, of course, brings us back to the continuing resolution and what that impact might have on our well-educated service member population and the ability to continue being on the cutting edge of technology development. Can you speak to that? And then I have another question.
I think I would point you to the Secretary's statement on the potential for a long-term CR. Remember, look, the CR now funds us through mid-February. And as Carla noted, there is some funds represented in there to help us with, Operation Allies Welcome. A CR is not the ideal way to fund the department. And I think everybody understands that. And what we're concerned about here, and you hopefully saw it in the Secretary's statement, is the potential for a long-term, maybe as long as a full year. That's where it really begins to be damaging, not just to our R&D and to our ability to start new programs and, like I said, build new ships, but also in terms of making sure our troops get the pay raise that they've so richly deserved. I mean, they'll still get that pay raise, but it'll come at a cost of other things that we'll have to defund or at least reduce funding for. So I would just point you back to what he said. I don't have any specific space impacts to speak to. Again, this is a partial CR now only until mid-February.